Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Adrian. Good
Hey.
morning, Doug.
How is everybody today on this good Saturday morning?
Good. How about you, Doug? How about you, Adrian? How are you?
I'm doing well, just trying to get my breakfast in before we get started.
Okay. Were you able to look at the final product for the potpourri?
Has it been an update from last night?
I updated it about 11 last night.
Okay, then no. Let me take another peek to make sure. But yes, I did take a look at it when you first sent it over.
Okay. Someone just called me and told me that the link in the D44 Toastmasters Facebook page for the workshop was not working. So I'm checking that out. And it's not.
Oh boy.
But at last count, which was yesterday morning, we had 104 people signed up.
Okay.
So it's going to be good one way or the other. I just hate that it didn't work. And maybe if people went there and found out it didn't work, they would go on to the D44 website and find it there.
Maybe we can post the link from the D44 site on the Facebook page.
I'm trying to do that right now.
And no one is sharing the screen, right? Because I just want to make sure that I don't see anybody.
Not right now.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure.
No. All right, I got the link there. Go to Facebook, see what the problem is. I see what the problem is.
Uh-oh.
It's a transposition error here. In the bit.ly link. Okay, it's on there, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, that's fixed.
Yay.
Okay, we got some people wanting in.
That's a good sign. So just for verification, Fran, I know I'm doing the potpourri, but how much of the potpourri slide deck am I presenting?
You're presenting the first, I believe it's 3 sections.
Okay.
And I put a blank page in there that says, pass it off to Fran.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Okay. I'm letting people in.
All right. Good luck, everybody. Fingers, toes, and everything else crossed.
Yep.
Good morning, all. Is Fran on?
I am.
Fran,
Good
quick question
morning.
for you. And this is one thing that I've been through the videos and reviewed the slides.
Okay.
Who will be doing the advancing of the slides?
You will be doing your own slide advancing, if that's okay.
Okay. All right.
You'll be
Good
sharing
morning,
your.
Fran.
Hi, Sally.
I'm enjoying it this morning. I'm cutting my dog's kibble so she can eat it easier.
Okay. I'm getting ready, so I'm going to mute you.
All right. So Fran, so I'll share my screen and advance my own set of slides, right?
Yes.
That's the one thing I didn't know. All right. I'll mute myself and be ready.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. I am having problems. My virtual background decided that ain't working. Yeah. Look at, yeah, so I will have to show.
That works.
Now it works.
That works for me.
I have been fighting with the computer for 10 minutes now. It's just ridiculous. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I was in panic mode, but okay, I'm not going to be in panic mode anymore.
Do not.
No,
You
it was.
don't need to panic, Anna Maria.
No panicking. We're good.
All right, perfect.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. All right. Just-
Hi, Una Richards.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, now I have sound.
Good morning, Beverly.
Happy
Good
New
morning,
Year.
Kathy.
Morning.
We're going to get started in about a minute.
We can be the champions, we can own the night. Yeah, it might destroy us, but we gotta try. Can't keep looking backwards, running from the light. Cause this could be the greatest moment of our lives. We can be the champions, we can own the night. This could be the greatest moment of our lives. Fighting till the last in the dust, no, we won't back down. It's time to let the whole world know we can be the champions, we can own the night. Yeah, it might destroy us, but we gotta try. Can't keep looking backwards, running from the light. Cause this could be the greatest moment of our lives.
Good morning. Good morning. We can be the champions. Welcome, everybody. My name is Damon Edwards. I will be your moderator for today's District 44 Pathways Champion Workshop. I know that word workshop may sound boring, but get ready. This is a treat. What a wonderful opportunity for us to gather and learn pathways. Yes, yes, yes. With that being said, I want to welcome everybody again. Welcome to any distinguished members that are among us, all club members, all leaders, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just a couple of housekeeping rules, and really it is just one. Make sure, as always, that your mics are on mute, especially during the presentations. Please also drop any questions that you may have in the chat. After each presentation, if we have time, we may be able to get to a couple of questions. However, there are breakout sessions that come after the presentations where all your questions can be answered. And still, if you have more questions, you have our email address and many other points of contact to be able to have your questions answered. Now let's move on as I introduce one of our wonderful hosts this evening. I'm so used to nighttime. This morning, this young lady is a true beacon. Fran Ellis, the District 44 Pathways Champion Chair. She is a member of several Toastmasters Club, but her home club is West Cobb Toastmasters. We got some West Cobb in the house. Woo, woo. She has set a goal to earn a Pathways DTM before June 30th, 2021. Beacon. She has embraced the vision and goals of the Pathways Champions to educate and assist District 44 in navigating the ins and outs of the Pathways platform from bottom to top. Our host, Fran Ellis. Good morning, Fran. How are you doing?
I'm great, Damon. How are you?
I'm
is
in my
wonderful.
fuchsia.
Yes, you do, and you look marvelous. I
Thank
want
you.
to say it is good to have everybody here right at the moment. I'm looking at the participants, and we have right at 70 participants on this class, in this workshop. So we are looking forward to an exciting time. We're looking forward to helping people navigate pathways and grow and strive and win in their pathways, in their Toastmasters journey through pathways. I'm going to just briefly reintroduce you to our moderator. Damon joined Toastmasters because he has a story to tell, and he wanted to make certain that he was eloquent doing so. You've already had a taste of it, but you'll learn that he certainly has achieved that goal, since you'll be able to hear for yourself today as he serves as our moderator. I'm going to introduce my co-host. She will be watching the chat and taking questions that are in the chat, but as Damon stated, please keep your questions written down in case we don't get to them in the main part of the presentation. We will be having breakout rooms at the end of the session. Cheryl Hollyfield. Cheryl she wanted to improve her skills as a public speaker, so she joined Toastmasters. She has become proficient in pathways, completing level 5 in the innovative planning path, and she will be my co-host today. In absentia, I'm going to introduce the 2 other members that you will not be introduced to today, and they will not be doing presentations. But Ebony Brown is in school today, and she will not be able to join us, but she is a champion. And Marcia is in a meeting this morning, and so she will be joining us in the breakout rooms. It's Marcia Williams, so you will see her face and hear her in the breakout room today. And at this time, since we have so much to share with you, we are on a tight schedule. We're going to turn it back over to the moderator, Damon Edwards, and we're going to get started with this class. Damon?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Fran Ellis. Welcome back, everybody. Are you ready? Grab your cups of coffee. Blink, blink, blink twice. Let's wake up. Let's get up and let's get excited. It is now time to hear some presentations on pathways. Our first presenter this morning is the amazingly talented Amanda Mae Gray. She is going to be doing Pathways Basics Part A, Amanda has been a Toastmaster since 2019. She has shared her acting and sales skills with District 44 in many areas this year. She is here today to walk us through Pathways step by step in her educational yet entertaining way. Let's welcome Toastmaster Amanda Mae Gray.
Thank you for that, Damon. I appreciate the kind words and the build up. No anticipation there. No pressure. It's fine. It's fine. How is everybody doing today? You all are looking beautiful and bright and shiny. Those of you that I can see. Those of you that I can't see, I'm sure you're also looking fabulous. I'm so certain of that. And that's why your camera's off, is you just can't, overtake the screen with your fabulousness. And I understand that. I do. But I hope you guys, if you do have any questions, you will feel free to utilize the chat, and we will attempt to use as many of those questions as we possibly can once I have gone through the slides to do the introduction. It is going to be a walkthrough on my part from the very beginning. So I hope you guys are ready for that. I also want to remind you guys that we do have the reaction buttons down there too, that you are absolutely free and encouraged to use. Those are very handy as well. So let me go get our slides and we will get this party rolling. All right. Okay. Are you guys excited? A little bit, maybe? Do this if you're excited. Yeah. All right. Welcome to Pathways Champions Training. Pathways overview. So we're going to start at the very, very, very beginning, just like I mentioned. All right, step one, to no surprise, is that you'll need to log into Toastmasters. That is toastmasters.org, not .com, .org. That is important to know. And you probably already have a member ID and a password. I always use my email address instead of actually my member ID, and then whatever password you chose. This was all sent to you from Toastmasters International when you first signed up, and there are welcome emails that you can look for. If you don't know what you're talking about, double check your spam, and of course you can always type in your little search bar, Toastmasters, and things will pop up. But once you put in that email address and your password, you will click log in on that page there. And then you bring to the main page, which is where everything happens. So there are two ways to get into Pathways to choose your path. I am aware that probably probably most of you have already chosen a path, but just in case we have anybody on here that hasn't chosen a path, we're going to quickly go through how to do that. So there are two ways. You're going to click on the little Pathways button at the top on the left-hand side, and then you'll either click the start page or you will click choose a path. When you click the start page, it will come to this slide here. There's 3 boxes, so the navigator, of course, accessing Basecamp, and then continue to choose your path. You'll click on the continue to path selection, and that's going to bring you to this page here. When you do that, you've got a couple of options on this page, and it is important to kind of take some time and consider these options. You probably don't need to consider what language, but there's a choice below that about printing the materials or accessing the online materials. So if you are somebody that really prefers that physical paper, you are more than able to print the entire path. Now, if you choose the printed path option in this specific spot, they will mail you all that stuff, but you will not have access to the actual online version. So I recommend for everybody to choose the online version, because once you are in your projects and in your path, you can print off the entire path. You can print off specific things, or you might just want to print off, level 1 and the projects in level 1. And then maybe after that, you're getting comfortable with it and you might not need the entire thing from there. But I always suggest utilize that online version because you can print it as well once you're into it. And you can't lose the online version and you could lose the paper one, right? So, and you can also start right away, of course, once you are choosing that online method. If you scroll down on that page as well, you have 2 options to selecting your path. The first option is to look at all 11 options, all 11 paths. Now, if you're anything like me, that might be too many options to try to narrow down to one. That's kind of a lot. It can be a little bit of an overwhelm. So we always recommend, even if you have already completed a path, if you're picking up your second, your third path, that you take the online assessment. That online assessment should take you about 5 to 10 minutes, and it's going to run through a series of questions specifically for you to help identify what is it that you are trying to get out of Pathways? What is it you're trying to get out of Toastmasters? What are your goals? What are you looking for? And then it's going to recommend 3 paths based on your answers that will really be tailored for you and what you're trying to get out of this. So that's why it is definitely helpful to take that assessment. Now, in addition to seeing those 3 paths that it highlights for you, it does show you all the additional, 8, 9 paths? Okay, I can't do math right now. Don't worry about that part. Point is, you can see them all even once they have highlighted the 3 for you that they think, based on your goals and your answers to those questions, that would be most applicable for you. So it is quite useful even once you've done it already. Now, the other way to choose a path would be to click, once you log in, it will say welcome, and then of course your name. If you're named Cheryl, it will say exactly this. But if you're not named Cheryl, like me, it will say your name. Mine says welcome Amanda, Damon says welcome Damon. When you click on that welcome, it's gonna bring you to what I call the profile page. And that also has an option to choose a path. So there's another option there. So you got a few ways to do things. Oh, I forgot to mention. One thing you should be aware of with Pathways and with the Toastmasters website, you often will find that you do things twice. So just like we clicked Pathways and then we selected choose a path, there is another page that pops up to say choose a path again. So if you're aware in the beginning that sometimes you're going to have to do things twice and you might get a little confused or frustrated, because I know I did. And I was like, wait, I just did that? It's okay. You're on the right path. Okay. All right. I didn't mean to honestly just say you're on the right path, but you are. So, all right, that works anyways. So just keep that in mind. And I feel like if I'd known that in the beginning, I would be less frustrated with the whole thing. But all right, we've chosen a path. Yay, we picked something out. Fantastic. Now it's time to get into that path and get into what we call base camp. So you're going to come back to this main screen here, and it says Pathways again, but you can look and see now it also will say go to base camp. When you click on go to base camp, that will bring you up to the second page that we're going to talk about. But first, there is, of course, that other way of doing it, which is clicking on your name. And then again, you can click on go to base camp from that page. So you have a couple ways of doing everything, and sometimes you do things twice. Yay, we're into base camp. Fantastic. So this will be the page that will pop up. It does open up on, I believe it opens up on a new tab for you. And you'll see here, there's a few things on this screen to note. One, we've got our paths and learning, the educational transcripts. It says speech evaluations and tutorials and resources. So the paths and learning tab is going to take you to the path that you're in and the actual educational strip where you are at. The evaluations is literally the resource for all of the evaluations that could happen. If you are evaluating somebody else and they don't have the resource for them, this could be a place you can come and get it. Or if you're giving that speech and need to grab that evaluation to give to your evaluator, this is also a great place for you to be able to do that without having to go and dig any deeper. The tutorials and resources page is also super important. So of course, you can't always access a member that is going to be able to help you out, or maybe you just want to try to do things on your own. And those tutorials and resources are going to be your friend. Additionally, there's already a video on that main page that talks about Basecamp and goes through kind of the homepage and what you can expect. Additionally, you'll see at the top here, there is a little search bar, and you can always try typing your question in there and see what pops up. But we want to go and check out our path. So if we click Paths and Learning, it's going to take us to this, click Paths and Learning, takes us to this next page. This page here, as you can see, Cheryl was in 2 paths when she made this. So you'll see it says engaging humor, that's a path, and innovative planning, that is also a path. So she can see both of them, and then she could open whichever curriculum she is looking for. Another way to get to that specific path is on that main page. If you actually scroll down, you'll see it says Paths and Learning and then Open Curriculum. So for me, this is the fastest way to get into whatever path I'm looking for. I just get on that main page, scroll down a little bit, and then go right into that path. When you open up a path, this is what it's also going to look like. Now, let's take a little bit of time on this page because it's a really important page to look at. It is the beginning. Of course, we are engaging humor, and we're going to do this clockwise. So the first thing you'll notice here is it says your level. There's a little percentage bar right here, and that is the percentage of that level that you have completed. Each level has multiple projects, typically 2 to 3 projects that you have to complete within that level to complete that level. As you can see here, we've got the icebreaker project, the evaluation and feedback project, and then research and presenting. So those are the 3 things in that level that she's going to have to go through. And every level 1 is going to look exactly like this. So I should say that don't get too hung up when you are picking a path because there are a lot of similarities. So whatever speaks to you the most, that's the one you should choose. Now on the side here, you'll see it says launch, launch, and then activate. This is one of those times when you do things twice. When you are brand new into it, it will have this bottom icon here that says activate. You have to click on activate, the page will refresh, and then it will say launch. Once it says launch, then you can click that and it will launch the program, the project, and that will launch in another tab as well. To the left here, you can see it says engaging humor, which is the path that we're in, and then it says the level 1 through 5. This is like your little navigation area. So you can click ahead and see what's coming up, see what you're going to be doing. I always like to click through the whole thing when I first get into a path and kind of get an idea of the roadmap that I'm going to be on. So how I'm getting from point A to point B, which is the completion. I like to see the different things, check out the projects, and kind of get an overview. So that's how you navigate through the different levels and see what's going on. And of course, jump backwards or forwards if you need to. Then finally, this little display icon at the very top here is the percentage of the entire path completed. So you have 2 percentages on the page. You've got the one for the level specific, and then you have one for the entire path. That is an important one to be paying attention to, kind of gauge where you're at. And of course, it's always gratifying once you've completed something to see that number increase. All right. So once we launch a project, like I mentioned, it's going to open another tab. This is one of those projects. It may take a moment to load, but otherwise you can click on the little click here, just like you would in any other page if it is having a hard time loading. Like I mentioned, it does open a new tab, so sometimes pop-up blockers could come into play, so just be aware of that. Once you see the project module though, then you are in and you are ready to begin. The second or third page of the project, each and every project, is this navigation page. If you are new to this, it is important to take a look at this navigation page so you have an idea what's going on. So you've got these little chevron arrows at each side, and that's your navigation back and forth in the project itself. And then you also will see there's some back and next buttons. There's additional screens and buttons on some of the pages that you want to click through and see the additional information. And then there's this little directions tab down here that tells you what is going on. It is the directions. Additionally, I will note that at the very bottom, it says here, select to move to another section. That is like the navigation that you just saw with the levels 1 through 5 on the left-hand side, but within the project itself. So you can jump back and forth between it if you have started it and then you come back to it and you're like, wait, what was I doing? That's where you can go to jump back and forth between the slides. You will see that there are red and blue navigation buttons. So on this page, we have 5 different buttons. 4 of them are in red and 1 is in blue. When it is blue, that is what you're looking at currently. So anytime you see these little red buttons, you want to click on them and check them out and see what additional information. So right now it says pacing. So we'll read the tab that says, you'll soon become aware of whether you speak faster or slower in front of an audience and can adjust your time accordingly. That's your information about pacing. Then you'd want to click on organization and read what that was all about. So just keep that in mind. Anytime you see red and then blue, there's more information to learn. Ah, it's a pop quiz. You didn't know there was a pop quiz, did you? Well, you're welcome for the knowledge in advance. Now it's not a pop quiz, now it's just a quiz. Every single project has this assess your skills before, and then once you've completed the project, after. It is very important that you go through this assessment. This has to be filled out for you to actually get the little blue check mark at the end that says, yes, you have completed that project. It is a series of questions with 1 through 5 for the answers, 1 being your lowest level of competence and 5 being your highest level of competence on that particular skill that they're asking you about. In this instance, it says, I understand the structure of a basic speech. If you are brand new, you might click 1, maybe you'll click 2 or 3, but then you always want to hit that little red button that says next, go through all of the questions, and then it will say submit under here once you've answered all of them. You want to make sure you hit submit before moving on to the next page so that those answers are recorded. Nobody else sees these answers. They are for you. They are for you to be able to understand where you were and how you've grown, how the path has helped you, how the project has helped you. So they are important to do. And it is interesting once you take the assessment again, days later, and you're like, oh, okay, I did learn something. Awesome. After that, you will see a page that says view your assessment. This is where you can print things. If you see here, there's this little floppy disk and it says project checklist. If you click on that, a new window will open as well, and a PDF will come up that you can save or you can print. The checklist is nice, especially at the beginning when you're getting into Pathways, to kind of give you the guidelines as to where you're going and what you're doing. This also is going to tell you about your assessment and what you actually are going to be doing. So of course you would want to click that little red button to see more and continue on to learn your information. Once you get towards the time when you're actually going to give the speech, there is an evaluation form, like we mentioned before. If you are new to Toastmasters, evaluations are a very important part of learning. This lets another member in your club review the actual path that you are doing, the actual project that you're doing, and give you an evaluation tailored to that project. So that evaluation resource, like the checklist, has a little floppy disk, and then you can click it, open it, print it, save it, or email it. Now, I will note, if you email the URL from that evaluation resource to another Toastmaster, and they try to open it up and it gives them an error message, one of those 404 errors, that's because they are not logged in to the Toastmasters website themselves. This is important to know because it happens frequently. People get that URL, they're like, oh great, I emailed it to them, we're all set. But if they're not logged in, they're not going to be able to see it. It's a really quick fix. Just go to the toastmastersinternational.org website, log in, then you click that link and poof, it'll show right up. You can also print your project from here or print the speech outline. I really like that speech outline worksheet. It was like my bestest friend when I started on Toastmasters and writing speeches, because I could literally print it off, fill it out, and have it with me so I could review it before my speech. I didn't have to come back into this. I could work on it whenever I wanted to and have that in one nice, neat place. So I would recommend that for you guys as well, especially anybody who is new to writing speeches. This is what the evaluation form will look like. It will say the project at the top there under evaluation form. Back in the day, we would print these out and hand them to our evaluator when we were in person. Now, again, it would be digital and they would just need to sign in, or you could actually download and save this file all together. Or again, you can go and find it when you get logged into Basecamp at that beginning page. It will tell the person what is going on, what is the purpose of this project, and what they should be looking for the things on this project. There's also always this little evaluation by numbers, again, a 1 through 5 example, to go over things like your clarity, your vocal variety, your eye contact to the lens, and of course, gestures, which I love. I love gestures. That's one I always get a good thing on because I always talk with my hands. But that is something that you will be looked at as well because it helps engage and bring people in. The after assessment. Same exact questions, same 1 through 5 method. This has to be done after you've given that project. So once you go to your meeting, you've given your speech, you've gotten evaluated, After that meeting, you're going to log back into Pathways, back into Basecamp, back into this project, and take this same assessment again. Then you will hit submit. A page will pop up and it'll show you your before ranks and then your after scores, and you can compare where you're at. Once you've done that, then you can click this little chevron, go to the next page, and it says, congratulations, you have completed this project. You're now ready to advance to the next project on your path. Note, there is not a little thing here, so there's no more pages. It is very important to come in here, take that assessment, hit submit, get to this page, and then close this tab out all together. You have to close this tab, and then what's going to happen is that main Basecamp page is going to refresh, and all of a sudden you'll get a little blue check mark next to this specific project that you had just completed. And now it will show up for your Vice President of Education that you have also completed that project. That concludes our first portion. I am done talking unless you guys have any questions. So if you guys have any questions about what we just went over, now will be the time for Damon to help answer those questions with me as well. Damon?
Thank you so much. What an amazing job, Amanda Mae Gray. Yes, ma'am. As many were doing, definitely place your questions in the chat. We are going to actually continue the agenda and keep it moving to part B of Pathways Basics, And your presenter this morning for part B is going to be Veena Kadam. I hope I am saying that right. Welcome, Veena. Join Toastmasters because she wants to be confident public speaker and an innovative thought leader. She has competed in area and division contests and is currently working in the innovative planning path. She is here today to encourage others to thrive in pathways. Again, I bring you Veena Kadam. Welcome. Good morning, Veena. How are you doing? Come on in the room. You're on mute, love.
Thank you.
It's okay.
That was a wonderful.
2021 Zoom. 2021 Zoom.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Welcome again, Veena. Take it away.
Thank you, Daman. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome again for the part 2 of Pathways Overview. My very wonderful friend Amanda covered the first portion. Now I would go ahead with the second portion. So as you all know, we need to log into Toastmasters International website, Toastmasters.org site. Then once you log in with your member ID, email address, and login, where do we go? We go to Basecamp Manager. So once you come to the Basecamp, you see a navigation bar. And this navigation bar, you see Basecamp profile, feedback, paths and learning, and e-profile. I'm going to show you in my part how to explore these and what are the options available for us. So once we go, as Amanda showed you, when you get into the login, you'll get your name and then it will show the paths you have signed in. So this is the first page what you would go in. Then we can see that if you click on Basecamp profile, this tab, the first tab, you will see your profile. Like if you want to fill something about yourself, you could fill in the summary. Then you have interest, any interest you have, which you would like to show to your club members, you can include there. Then we have additional information. In the additional information, these are the preferences. You can set your time zone. You can even select your signature. As you can see, one of our trainers, Fran Ellis, our Pathways champion, has selected her signature. So you could select your signature as well. Then you could also record the meeting roles, what you have done in your clubs. If you don't remember what are the roles you have done, you can always go to your VPE and ask for the full circle sheet and you can fill up those roles. Or else the best practice we advise is As you do each role in the meeting, go ahead, go to your preferences, log in and log in the date. And please make sure you log in this. And once you log in, there is one thing you need to notice. Okay, if I log in, am I going to get a full circle reward or am I going to get credit? No, this is for your record. But yes, there is one thing. If you want to complete your third pathway, the third level of your pathway, you need to complete Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, and Evaluation. These three roles are important for you to complete. If you think like, okay, Amanda told me I just need to complete my evaluations before assessment, post assessment, and if I click, my VP should be able to approve my level. No, in level 3, you should also complete these 3 leadership levels. That is the roles of Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, and Evaluator. So once you do all these 3 things and complete the required speeches and electives, what you have chosen for your path, level 3, then you complete your level 3 and your VPE will be able to approve your completion. Next, let's come to another tab, which is called as feedback. I know some of you might be aware, some may not be aware. So for the people who don't know, we have a wonderful option to request for a feedback in our feedback button. All you have to do is when you go to your Basecamp profile, click on this tab, feedback. Here you can request a feedback request. Suppose you're requesting your evaluator to send you a feedback, you can just type in here, then whichever club you have logged in. I do know some members are a part of multiple clubs. Ensure whichever feedback you're receiving from what club you have presented your speech, you log into that specific club, because you'll not be able to pull up the members from the other club. It will only show you the club which you have signed in with that login. Okay, I hope I'm clear. If not, you can ask me the questions and I'll be more than happy to answer you. Okay, so next, here you will see the feedback request where you can enter what would you like to get feedback for. Maybe it is your impromptu speech or your evaluation or your speech presentation. Then you can choose from whom you're requesting the information. You can just do a drop down or just type few letters of the name of your club member you're requesting for. Then it will show up their name and you can click that. You can choose them. Then if you want your feedback to be anonymous, you can also choose that option. Then you can also designate who can see the responses, like your managers, your VPs, anybody you want. Like if it is a corporate club, if you can choose this, then even they will be able to see. If not, that's fine too. It's your option, it's your preference. Then you also have an option to upload a file. Like if you want to send an evaluation form, a blank evaluation form, you also can attach that here and you can just post. The minute you click on post, what happens, the request, they will get an email notification and they will have to log in to their profile to see what is that. If they don't see, they don't get. So you can just send a little reminder. Also in the bottom, you can see 2 little options, which is called as feedback and badges. You have an option to also give badges and feedbacks to other members even before it has been requested. There is an option for that too. Next, if you see, there is an option here. If you want to find people in your club, there is an option. There is a search bar here where you enter their names. The minute you enter, it pops up. Then you can directly go here. This is a shortcut to reach them and to request them for the feedback. Next, there is also a Google search. Like suppose you're a part of multiple clubs, so you want to make sure, okay, I have somewhere, I'm not sure which club I'm in. You can just go here, you can look for here, and it will tell you which club they belong to, what is their role, and whatever their member ID also is being displayed. So this is a place where you want to go and search about the people from any club. Okay, so this is this global search button. Next, if you want to award a badge, badge is like an achievement. You appreciate, you support your fellow members to perform better or to encourage them or to give a little push. So this really helps, and I really recommend everybody to please use this feature of requesting for the feedback and also giving back this to your fellow members. You like something, like in virtual, we don't get the ribbons. So the wonderful way of doing it is through virtually by awarding a badge. So what you could do is the same way, go to feedback, share your feedback, whomever you want to share it to, and then you can say whom do you want to designate to see the feedback. If you want to share it with everyone, you can say everyone. If you want to be specifically for one particular member, you can choose that from the drop down from the specific club you have logged in. Next, here also there is an option where you could choose the badge. There are around 6 types of badges you can give to your members. One is adaptable, collaborative, courageous, exceptional, innovative, and inspirational. So if you think they belong to, they had these qualities in them when they were presenting, giving an impromptu speech or this speech delivery or in their leadership role, you can go ahead and give, or you can give your comments the way we normally traditionally give. You can also submit the evaluation forms, the filled in evaluation forms in case if you're an evaluator, by using this attachment button. You just upload the file and click post and they will get an email. But there is one tip here, which when I come to another slide, I'm going to tell you, okay? So here also you can see 2 options, feedback and badges. Here also you can just click it, and if you want to see yours or you want to give to somebody, you can use this. Next, the third tab, the third option is paths and learning. So when you click on paths and learning, you, as Amanda has showed you, you go to the paths what you have chosen. If you want to activate, you want to go see what speeches you have done, or what is your next project, you want to explore, you want to know more so that you can start preparing on your project, this is the place you could do. There is another option, a wonderful place. I tell it is like your own library where you can store all your information related to your specific path in Toastmasters. And this is the place for that. That is called ePortfolio. Here is a place where you can store your speech evaluation, any documents or any badges, what you have. And please note, even if nobody has given you a badge, the minute you complete or activate a path, Toastmaster does give you a badge. So if you want to see your currently owned badges, you can go to your eProfile, just click on badges. It will show you if you have completed each level, it will say it is achieved level 1, achieved level 2. If you have activated, it says activated, what path. And these are the documents I would definitely use. Like I have received evaluations, like in traditional, we had it in the magazine, but in virtual, how do I refer back? If I want to improve, or if I'm looking for, okay, using something for my competition or something. So this is a place. So I highly recommend everybody, whatever feedbacks you receive from your evaluators, please go ahead and scan them, or if they've sent a soft copy, just upload it to your documents in your ePortfolio. Next, there is another way to quickly reach this place. That is, when you go back to Basecamp Manager, the minute you log in, this is a shortcut. If you want to send any evaluations, as Amanda told you, you can just click on this evaluations. You'll find blank forms of each path. You can share it with your fellow members or anything. If they have not sent you, this is the place where you go. You just come here, you click on speech evaluations, whichever path there you are going to evaluate, you can just download it on your system. But once you fill it, these are editable forms, but once you fill it, ensure you save it in your name or in the person whom you're going to send it in their name. Because when you just click on save, it's going to just save the blank form. But if you have filled something, you have to change the name and click on save as. That's a very quick small tip. The people who are not very tech savvy, they wonder how somebody is able to do, I'm not able to do. So that's one small thing. Next, if you want to go to my feedback, my badges, my documents, this is a quick shortcut on this page. You can go here and you can see. Next, the instructions for completion. So most of them think that, okay, once I'm done, why still have not been got an award? Then your VP would say, yes, you have not completed the steps to complete the level. So here is a quick view for it. So what you have to do is whenever you go for a completion, there is in Activate, here it says mark complete. So you just click on that and say complete, and it goes into pending status, because your officer, VP of your club, has to approve that yes, you did deliver the speech or you did complete your project. And once they give a confirmation from their end, it says complete there, and in few minutes you will have your view certificate. You'll also be recognized by your club, but you'll also have a digital copy of your view certificate if you want to print it for your records and put it in your documents folder. Yes, we also have a sample document for tracking progress. So if you're like me, who always wants things to be very well organized, you can follow your, we will also give you the links to it. Fran Roxanne would be able to help you to access these files on District 44. So any path you have logged in, so what are the levels you have for each level? What are the speech projects you have to do? What exactly you have to do to complete? Each steps have been there. So this is a wonderful resource, even for the VPEs and even for SAP. Next, if you want to access your speech evaluations, as I told you, you just go click in this. There will be blank editable forms where you can access. My club uses FreeToast, so we also have uploaded these documents for their references. If your club doesn't use FreeToast, this is a place where you can go to Toastmasters International website and access these. Then tutorials and resources. This is the place if you're looking for any additional information related to your path, you want more information regarding your speech project, you will find it here. A very wonderful tool. And here, so ensure when you come back here, you have to return back to your Toastmaster profile. That means you have to log out your Basecamp, and you also have, when you log out here, you log out from your Basecamp. And once you log out from here, then you have to also log out of Toastmasters International. That is when you're completely logged out. I hope I gave you a brief overview of how you to do. And for the people who have renewed between October to December, you have a free path incentive. Please remember, even if you're not going to start your next path, go ahead and renew. Just add it to your cart. It will show a price. You add it to your cart, but when you check out, it would show $0, and you will be able to do it. For the people who are new members, you don't have a chance to add a free path, but yes, by paying additional $20, you can add an additional path. And that's it. So if you have any additional resources you're looking for, you have online tutorials, videos, and if you have any questions at this point of time, I and Damon can help you answer them. Thank you. Over to you, Damon.
Thank you so much, everybody. Veena Kadam. What a wonderful job. And also, I want to make sure that I punch this home. You have great questions coming in. I'm noticing Fran is answering some of them. Keep those questions handy. Keep them in the chat. You will have an opportunity and the ability to be able to get those questions answered, not only in the breakout room, also at the end, as well as we will have provided the email address, which you will be able to get your questions answered in that fashion. So please don't stop asking your questions and keep them coming. We are going to continue this morning's workshop, and we're moving on to something a little more snazzy. Pathways Potpourri. What does that mean? Pathways just smells wonderful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pathways Potpourri. I love it. Adrienne Brown is going to be presenting this morning for Pathways Potpourri. She wanted to find her voice. Toastmasters has allowed her to network with a diverse group of people, exposing her to opportunities that stretched her. She says it has been great She is here today to continue her journey, giving us a wonderful presentation for Pathways Potpourri, as my grandma used to say. I bring you Adrienne Brown. How you doing this morning, Adrienne?
Good morning, Damon. Thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you, Toastmasters, for sharing a few minutes with me and the other Pathways champions that are here to support you through this Pathways journey. We're hoping that you'll take away a lot of information and spread the love across the other club members that we have amongst us. So let's get started with the Pathways Potpourri. I am actually going to start off and then Fran is going to pick this up. So we're going to sprinkle a little bit of information that just wasn't able to fit into a nice, neat package. So this is going to be just a hodgepodge of information that's available to you as as Toastmasters. So let's get started. This is our table of contents. We're going to talk about submitting an external training, and also the Pathways accessible materials. We're also going to discuss the project evaluations, how
Adrienne?
to deal with, yes?
I'm sorry if I may interrupt you. I'm the only one that's not able to see her screen.
Oh,
I can see.
We are able to see
Okay.
them.
No,
Okay, I
I
just
am
wanted to
not.
make sure it's my computer. Okay, I wanted to make sure it wasn't just my computer.
Okay.
I'm not.
You know what?
Can you adjust your view?
Good question.
I can
Excuse
see
me?
it, Adrienne. No, not Adrienne. Those who are unable to see may need to adjust like their view in terms of their view at the top right-hand side of their screen.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue. Hopefully what I'm saying will help to guide you with what I'm showing on the screen. So apologies if you're not able to see what I'm showing. I'm going to continue with the table of contents. We're going to talk about the multiple clubs or multiple paths that you may be able to do as Toastmasters. Also your progress sheets and progress tracking spreadsheets. So let's get started. And submitting an external training request. Now you may wonder, well, I'm already doing all these pathways requests. What could an external training request possibly mean for me? Well, there's two ways that you can actually do external training and get credited for that. One is if you are invited to be a speaker at another club, you want to get credit for doing that speech. The other is completing a project that is outside of Toastmasters. I know some of us may have opportunities or requirements at our corporations or jobs where we're speaking in front of people in our departments, or if we have town hall meetings at our jobs. That may be an opportunity for you to get credited for doing those types of speeches. So Pathways has provided an option for you to document that information. You want to go into Pathways as shown here on the screen, and you will also go to Paths and Learning section. And then you want to select Add External Training from the drop-down box option on the right-hand side. Once you select that, you will come to a complete an assignment outside your club screen. Well, you will fill in the information that is presented in front of you. I'm going to go to the next screen for a little deeper dive. This is the full page. There are some drop-down box options, and then there are also some free text options. You will also see anything that's with a red asterisk is going to be a required field. So even if you click submit and do not put the information there, you are going to be required to put something there. So either select from the drop-down box option or fill in the information in the free text. And you want to put in the title of your speech that you have delivered. Once you click submit, you're going to come back over to the Paths and Learning section, and you will see the name of the document that you had entered. And then you can also select to view the details of your training request. Once you have put that information in, your base camp managers will be notified that you have an external training. So it's important to make sure that you put in all the information that is required, like the document that you used, your presentation, who saw your presentation, because you still have the Toastmasters rule that you do need to have another Toastmaster evaluate you, especially if you're doing something outside of Toastmasters. So it's just as simple as that. If you want to get credit for anything you do, make sure that you put it in the external training request. The next section is that I'm going to cover is we're going to talk about Pathways accessible materials. Now, when Pathways presented when Toastmasters presented Pathways to us, they did recognize that there may be some folks that may have vision impurities. So with that, they have decided to provide materials, physical hand or paper materials that are presented to Toastmaster members that may have issues with seeing things on screen. All of the learning paths are available in English, and other languages are going to be forthcoming. So keep that in mind if you ever need to order paper-based version of any of the pathways. There are two ways to select from ordering your path. You can take the Pathways assessment online, as has been discussed earlier, or you may just pick a path from your own, and there are drop-down options that will show you what's inside each of the paths. So although the assessments are not accessible using the assisted technology, you can still take that with you in a cited guide. So you do have the ability to get assistance if you need it. So after you select the path, you will receive this information. Typically within a business day, you're going to receive all of your required elective projects for the path. You're going to get links to educational videos, all of the pathway evaluation resources, and all of the resource documents for your path. And then you'll get a form to give to your Vice President of Education when you complete a level. And if you are a brand new member, or you can share this with anyone that imposes to be a brand new member, make sure that the new member indicates that they may have they may be vision impaired on the membership application. So Toastmasters will be able to manage that. And if you are an existing member that now needs to have assistance with pathways, being visually impaired, make sure that you contact Toastmasters International so your application can be adjusted. So these are a couple of questions. I'll just go through them. You guys can read, and I certainly don't want to go through all of this during our time, but I'll just want to highlight just a couple of things. If you ever need to have materials sent to you, you want to send it to the email address supplyorders@toastmasters.org. And one major question is, if you have access to Basecamp, if you're slightly impaired, you can see the things, but unfortunately they're not able to make adjustments to the pathways no more than if you are physically able to change the screen size of your font on your PC. So Toastmasters do not provide that information for you. The second question, can I order a Basecamp version of my path, an additional accessible version? Yes, you absolutely can. Another email address that you want to keep on tap is educationprogram@toastmasters.org, or you can give them a call at the telephone number that's on the screen. Your first path is always free. Any additional paths are going to be $20. And as already mentioned, and we want to make sure that you guys take this opportunity, right now up until March 31st, you are able to get a free path. Free. I hope y'all heard that word, is free. So it's a $20 value, and you should take advantage of that. Even if you're not ready to tackle another path right now, keep it on file in your transcript. So when you're ready, you'll have that free path available to you. This also talks about some screen readers that may be available to you. Just a couple of other things that they talk about. If you're slightly impaired, but you did not indicate that on your membership application, again, as I mentioned before, make sure you contact Toastmasters International, either by the email address shown here, or you give them a call, and then they'll make adjustments as necessary. And we're going to also talk about return policies, because it not only impacts anybody with that may be impaired some type of way, it may impact us as well, as just members in general. So the return policy is that there are no refunds on your educational materials. In other words, once you have selected a path that is your path that you're going to use, unless you change your mind within 30 days of making that selection. So make sure you keep that in mind, because day 31, you own that path that you have selected. Educational materials can be exchanged as long as members contact the Toastmasters International, as we talked about. After 90 days, there are no exchanges whatsoever. So make sure that you know the path that you want. If you intend to contact Toastmasters International to change a path, make sure you know the path that you want to change to. As stated here, there are no credits that are given to you. So in other words, make sure you know what you want when you contact Toastmasters International. If you're calling them by phone, you can tell them that, or in the email, make sure you indicate the new path that you'd like to take. Anytime an item is being returned or exchanged, it is in good faith. So we want to make sure that you are submitting your anything that you're returning in good condition. They do expect that, like any other place that you're going to return any items. And for exchanges that are due to anything being damaged, you may be required to show a picture of how that information or your package was sent to you. So make sure that you take pictures and submit any documentation that Toastmasters may require. When items are returned to Toastmasters, you got a couple of things here that are that you are as a member going to pay. You're going to pay for the cost of your shipping back to headquarters, and the cost of the shipping coming back to you. So keep that in mind if you ever need to make any exchanges of packages there. And the $25 fee that members pay when ordering a path is not refundable. So please keep that in mind as well. I can't express any more that, make sure when you go through the assessments, it is a pathway that you like, or if you're going through the different path options, make sure you select something that you think you have an interest in. So I'm going to wrap up, but I think there's a couple of things I do want to help you guys take away. There are email addresses that you may want to keep in mind, one being supplyorders@toastmasters.org. The other is educationprogram@toastmasters.org. And once again, I'm sure we're going to say this over throughout the course of our time today. There's a free path out there for you guys, y'all. So make sure that you take advantage of that during this time. It's available to you up until March 31st. So please make sure that you take advantage of that free path. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic and the presentation over to Fran, who's going to continue with our Pathways Potpourri.
Thank you so much, Adrian. That was a great job. This is a potpourri, and it's just a lot of things that are not necessarily packaged into a different place. I'm going to start sharing my screen now, and I hope that all of you can see that. Give me some kind of indication that you can see the screen. All right, thank you. This is something that a lot of people are not aware of, but when you complete a project level, you will get an email from Basecamp at toastmasters.org saying, congratulations, you have completed your project, and now they want you to give them an evaluation. We all like to get feedback, even Toastmasters wants to get feedback from their members. This is only good for 10 days. So once you complete your path and you get this, click on there, go to Basecamp, your path and learning page, and tell them how you think it worked for you, what you liked about it. There are several questions. It doesn't take very long, but it does give them valuable feedback into whether the Pathways platform is working the way they intended it to. So please take advantage of that. Look for that email and do that within the first 10 days. Next, I'm going to talk about a tricky little subject that affected me and affects many of you. Either you are a member of several clubs, or you're a member of one club, but you're working in a couple of different paths. I know that even though we have one free path, if you have signed up before December, or if you paid your dues before December 31st, so most of you will have two paths at least working. And just to talk about how that flows with making sure that you get credit for it, making sure that your club gets credit for the DCP goal that you want to get if you're in multiple clubs. But let me just talk about this. There's no way to lock in a path and tie it to a particular club if you're a member of a club, unless you're just one member of one club. But the club that you are logged into when you submit your completion for approval request is the email address that the person is going to get that email that says, your member has completed this path, please approve it. Now, if you're in several clubs, you're going to want to make sure that you have that there, but that's not the critical part of it. You need to keep that club as your home club, because when they log in and go to their, as Basecamp manager, and go to the screen to see the approvals, if you're not logged into their club as your home club, they will not see that approval. So please keep that in mind when you're submitting approvals. And then maybe you've completed that level. It doesn't matter which club has approved the Pathways portion of it, but you want that level to go to a different club than the person who is your normal home club. Make sure that you communicate with your VPE and the other officers in your club that you have completed a level and that you are giving it to a different club for the education award. Each club can only accept one education level of the same kind from any member. Meaning, if you're working in one path, Path A, and you're working in Path B, you cannot give Club XYZ both of those level ones in a particular year. I hope that's clear, because all of this is very kind of muddled and muddy when you work on it. But you will just need to communicate with your officers, and this is what Toastmasters is all about, being good communicators. So be sure and talk to your president, your secretary in particular, and your VPE especially, to make sure that they know that you have completed this path, and maybe it showed up on their Basecamp manager to be approval, but you're going to give that credit as for the education award to a different club. And that way everything stays straight, even though it's not every level in a particular path that you're giving to that club, and so forth. I hope that's clear. It's just one of those muddy things, but be very specific. Okay, say you have one club and multiple paths. I've already explained that you can only receive credit for one education award for the same level for any particular path in a club. You have to think about, this is for VPEs in particular, and the officers that can approve club level, Club Central Education Awards. You have to be aware that when you go to that screen on Club Central, Club Leadership, and then Club Central, and you choose Submit Education Awards, you choose your member's name, and then it comes up and asks you for the award that you are going to choose. When a member signs up for a path, that will automatically go into Club Central as being available to approve, whether they've completed it or not, whether it's been approved or not. So don't get the horse ahead of, the cart ahead of the horse when you're approving education levels and approve something that's not been done yet. Just be very careful about that. If it happens, and it's very easy to happen, I've already straightened and untangled a couple of things for that. We can call Toastmasters International and get them to change it, but they like to say that they don't change education awards. They have to. This is just such a design flaw in how this works that they have to make that correction if you explain the situation to them. And if you are in multiple clubs working on multiple paths, all of this above stuff applies exponentially. Be very, very careful. Many of you saw and asked questions in the chat while I was not monitoring the chat about progress tracking. I'm going to see if I can do a present here so that this comes up a little bit bigger. These are sheets that were spoken about in a couple of the earlier presentations. There's a 2-page form for each path that goes through all the levels and all the projects that are required. I suggest that as you get a new member and they join a path as a VPE, you present them as part of their orientation package or whatever as from their path. All of these paths tracking records will be on D44. I'm thinking they may already be, but they will be by next week, along with several of the resources that we are referring to today in this workshop. There's tracking on all of this for everything, and it ties into the thing that I'm going to show you next, which is, next screen.
Hey, Fran,
Yes.
will we be able to have this piece in the breakout session so we could continue on time?
Absolutely.
Kind of going over right now, if that's okay.
Okay. Okay. I will do that in the breakout session if you want to go to that. And this is also something that's going to be on there, and you also have the Toastmasters email address to contact me. I will go over it with any club, and this will be part of the base camp management training as well. So thank you, Damon. Moving on.
Well, thank you, Miss Fran, and what a wonderful opportunity for anybody who would like to meet Miss Fran in the breakout session later. I believe she is going to be in the Pathways Potpourri as well as all throughout. So again, keep your questions handy, keep your minds ready, and let's move on to the base camp manager section. I'm ready for this. I love Pathways so much. Now it's time for me to learn how to spread that love of Pathways to the next. And how else do you get the ins and outs than being a base camp manager? With that being said, our first presenter is going to be the great Doug Myers. Doug Myers, aka Douglas, a native Atlantean, or ATLian as us Northerners call it, you guys. So naturally is a strong proponent, and I do apologize for my fellow Pepsi drinkers, a Coca-Cola fan, and he thinks of it as the one and only soft drink. He joined Toastmasters in 2017 and has truly enjoyed using Pathways to be a better communicator, a presenter, a coach, and a mentor. His goal this year is to share his knowledge of base camp management with you, presenting part A of Base Camp Management. Let me introduce you all to Doug Myers. Good morning. How are you doing, Mr. Myers?
Damon, thank you very much for that kind introduction. And I'm really pleased to have everyone here today to learn about Basecamp Manager Pathways, and how to navigate the Toastmasters website. I'll begin sharing my screen. Can everyone see Pathways Basecamp Manager training? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Turn the chat screen on. It's important to understand the structure of how Toastmasters approaches delivering pathways to you. Pathways, and there are 11 of them, are the bodies of knowledge and skill sets honed by 100 years of Toastmasters. That's delivered to you in a continuing education system called Basecamp. Basecamp is actually a DUIC, a dynamic user interactive or interface chalkboard. So it's an electronic learning chalkboard in which Pathways is delivered to you. And as you navigate the different projects and different levels in a particular path and you complete them, they're kept track of the accomplishments inside of Basecamp. Every club has 3 Basecamp managers. Those Basecamp managers are your president, your vice president, and your vice president of education, and your secretary. Those 3 Basecamp managers have a separate section in which they can go into and proctor your progress inside of Pathways. For Basecamp managers, and really this is for everybody, even if you're not one of those 3 particular officers, it's important you know how that process goes so you can steer them into doing what they're supposed to be doing. Once you've logged into the Toastmasters website, you navigate to Pathways, the starts page. If you're one of the Basecamp managers, you'll have that second choice, access my path through Basecamp Manager, and you can log in as a Basecamp manager. Once you're a Basecamp manager, these are your 3 choices: the pending requests, the member progress, and the manager tutorials. Toastmasters is an open book. They put everything on their website one way or another in terms of tutorials and learning modules, et cetera, et cetera. So everything's there. I encourage everyone to take a look at those manager tutorials. They tell you everything you need to know. They just tend to be discrete and in chunks. It's not one smooth and continuous learning package. Member progress, that's how you can keep track of your members. The Basecamp managers can see who's in particular pathways, where they are in particular pathways. One caveat there is, once you're in a Basecamp manager, you have to hover your cursor over the particular screen to get the drop-down menu to populate. It's just a characteristic or foible of Basecamp. Most Basecamp managers are going to spend their time on dealing with pending requests. So as the members complete their levels, a notice goes out to the 3 Basecamp managers via email. Any one of those Basecamp managers can go in, click on pending requests, and they will see where the illustrious and talented Cheryl Holofield has completed a particular level. That's how it'll appear on the screen. And if you notice on the right-hand side, there's a green check mark or red X. Remember, the Basecamp managers are the proctoring of the continuing education portion of Pathways. If the person is, if the person is completed, the member is completed all the requirements, you know they've actually given the speech, you can click on the green check mark and they're good to go. You can also add comments when approving or denying a request. Every now and then you'll get a case where someone has not finished everything. For example, they didn't get that second evaluation in level 1, you'll say, I had to deny it. You need to do that second evaluation. Go ahead and get that done and then resubmit it and it'll come through. Any of the officers can then award a level completion via Leadership Central. Leadership Central is where you can also look at the distinguished club reports, et cetera, et cetera. You'll choose Leadership Central, then Club Central. Any of the officers then can click on Submit Education Awards. They pick that particular person. They submit the education award that they're good for. Click on step number 3, Review Award Submission. By now, most of you realize that the deep maroon dialog box, that's the action box. Nothing happens in Toastmasters until you click a maroon box. Then you can print the certificate by searching for the club member while you're still in Basecamp Manager. Choose that club member. Paths and Learning. You pick their particular curriculum that you know that they've just completed. View those details of that particular level. View the certificate. And you now have the certificate that you can print off and send to them, have them print it themselves, click and save it in your own locker that you have for files in your documents that was explained earlier. And again, a round of applause for Cheryl for completing level 5 of Innovative Planning. We love everybody that completes those pathways. I'll jump in here for a quick motivational sales pitch on pathways. Remember, when you complete a pathway, you have earned a proficiency in a body of knowledge that is a genuine micro credential that you can not only flash to family and friends and other members, but coworkers, bosses, the HR department. You receive one of those badges. It's a digital badge, but you've completed innovative planning. You have that module, you have that proficiency in that particular body of knowledge, and it's unique to Toastmasters, but it applies to everything in your organizational lives. Print it off. This is the section on approving or denying external training requests. So if you do a speech or project in a different club, or even outside the club, as long as there's a second Toastmaster that is able to verify what you've done, provide you the evaluation, and you've coordinated it with your Vice President of Education. This is the process that the VPE, the process, or the secretary goes through. They took a look at it. It was an external training request. The initial indicates the first step, and then you can click or deny the request. For VPEs and the other officers, you sort of want to make that extra step in trusting but verifying, making sure that they did everything that they were supposed to do for that particular external training, just so everybody's on the same playing field. There you can review the details of the training request. You can approve or deny it. Green check mark to approve, red X to deny. Make sure you log out of Basecamp. When you log out, that means that the databases at the company that maintains the Basecamp records gets updated. I'll interject another point here. Basecamp maintains its own databases. The Toastmasters organization can look into Basecamp, but that information doesn't automatically flow back over from Basecamp to Toastmasters. That's why that last step inside of Leadership Central, Club Central, submit the education award, that's important. There's lots of folks that are doing things inside of Basecamp completing levels, but it's not rolling over to the Toastmasters website. So there's awards out there that aren't necessarily hitting your club's educational achievements. So make sure that that gets verified. Make sure that your vice president of education is staying on top of it. Log out of Toastmasters. Here are your 3 additional pathway resources. These particular URLs will be available in the materials that we send out after this particular seminar is over. The D44 website, excellently run, excellently published. It has all this information on it also. I'm now available for questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Doug Myers. That's a Toastmaster right there. Just that you got to bring us right back to on time on this agenda. I love it. I love how we operate as Toastmasters and a family, everybody. Well, we have reached the final presentation of this morning. It is the second half of Basecamp Manager. And the presenter this morning is going to be the highly inquisitive and lovely Lena Surianto. Lena, good morning. How are you?
Good. Good morning, everyone.
Great. I bring you guys Lena Surianto. She is going to present to you part B of Basecamp Manager. The mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Damon. Good morning, everyone. And it is such a pleasure to be able to present after Doug Myers, since you have seen the in and out of the Basecamp as Basecamp managers. Now we're going to go ahead and proceed. So I see that some of you have questions, but not to worry, because at the end of the presentation, everyone will go through the breakout session where you have the opportunities to ask any questions that you want. So let me go ahead and get started so that we can end on time. As you could see on the Basecamp Manager's homepage, the 3 tabs that Doug explained to you about. So my presentation today is going to be more in-depth of the dashboard in the Basecamp. So what is it all about? So first of all, it's called the members progress. I know sometimes you are a Basecamp managers, area directors saying, where are you at? How many members are going to complete level 1 or level 2 or something like that? Wow. As a VPE, first-time VPE, or president, or even secretary who helps both president and VPE, sometimes you have no clue. I just got elected. We don't know where members progress is at. This is the place to go for you, members progress. And in this dashboard, you can see several different things that you can launch and learn. Individual progress of members, the level completion, how many members have completed the level, the path progress, where Buddy is at right now. Is he about to submit level 1? Because we still need 1 more level 1 for the Distinguished Club program. And the path types. Oh, wow, Lena just joined our club. I wonder what path she chose so that I can help her pick her mentor or choose her mentor. And of course, recently selected path and external training to just view, because I think Doug Myers has shown you how to approve external training, but we're going to see the progress. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? View individual progress. What is it all about? As you go through pathways in the members progress, the first tab right here is called individual progress. This is for you to be able to see how many members work on the same path, review the level completions that need to be reported in Club Central to see if they have finished, and to connect members with proteges. So perhaps Cheryl is working on presentation mastery. I see that she's on level 5, and William just joined Toastmasters and he just chose presentation mastery. Maybe Cheryl will be a good fit for William, because William Davis just joined and wants to know more about presentation mastery, and Cheryl has already completed level 5. So that's how you pair up mentors and proteges as a VPE or club president. You can also track members through their progress. You could see level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4 over here to see who is in those levels. And you can review whether the members have reached a level that includes the large project and any other support. Track all paths. So all these levels will be shown to you in this individual progress. And here's the thing. The second thing is level completions. Level completions means to say you want to be able to see how many members or which members completed the level in Pathways during the 90 days period. And that will also remind you to submit the members education awards in Club Central. Remember that there are 2 steps, right? One is to approve and one is to submit through Club Central. And then we can see the path progress. The path progress is to be able to help members who are on inappropriate place to help others, just like what I clarified just now. Cheryl is in level 5, presentation mastery. Akbar important. Maybe he's in level 1 in presentation mastery and he needs help. So maybe Cheryl can help coach Akbar in that level. So you can use different dashboards to see members who have completed the path that's in path progress. Path type. Now, this path type means to say, to keep pace with members who need clarification, and of course, to see how they have finished their path. This is useful when you are in transition to become a new VPE because you can see which members have chosen the electronic path or the printed materials, because you have certain members who are not comfortable with computers and they choose printed materials, and you can see which members have chosen the printed materials. This is where you see path delivery method. And then the next slide is recently selected path. You have some new members who just joined Toastmasters, and you want to see in the last 30 days or past month, which member chose what path. And this is where you can see what path they chose to be able to help them progress or assign mentor to them. And lastly is the external training request. Now, external training request that Doug presented to you, you actually can see how many members submitted their levels. I mean, not levels, the external training request. You can see the pending approval from members. You can see how many members have registered if they want to speak outside the club. And you can see the pending completion approval. Like a particular member has given a speech outside of your club meeting. They have submitted the approval for you to approve them to give a speech outside the club. And then after they complete it, they will come to Pathways Basecamp to check saying they have completed, and you as VPE can approve their external training. Wow, so much and so little time to learn. But the trick is, what is the best way to view all these different members' progress? Here's the trick. On each of these individual progress, level completion, path progress, type, recently selected path, when you pull it up, sometimes you can see an empty box. You can click on this drop down to view details of each members. But one thing is to refresh to see the best screen that can feature the most recent transactions or most recent path. Then the options button. Just click on this corner in this circle and click refresh. It might take a couple minutes to refresh, and then you can see the most recent happening or occurrence of the member's path type or any level completion. This slide shows you the detail of the member's path. I presented just now. When you click on view details, this is what you are going to see. the path members selected in the past month. You can see the name of the member and each path that they have chosen. So this gives you a more clear detail of what members choose what path and what the name of the members is. You can certainly export into Excel sheet as well if you want. There's an option to export these report details into Excel files so that you can save it into the computer. Maybe your area director needs it. Maybe you can share it with the club officers during officers meeting as a Basecamp manager. So you could see all these details. Active means they're active, and you can see which members are in persuasive influence, in innovative planning path. Here is the example of the Excel file because it will give you an option on, again, in the drop down, it says to view details or to export in the Excel file. And this is the presentation mode of how it looks in an Excel format. Path delivery methods. And again, this one is to be able to view different paths is the export method to Excel file. Tracking progress. Sometimes you get overwhelmed with who is doing what. And this simple cheat sheet or document, which will be shared with you after today's presentation, is an example of how VP can track members' progress, because obviously we used to have the big chart when we had the old system or the old pathway, the legacy program. But now this is the sample document for you to keep track of members' progress. You can put the name of the members. If the member is particularly working in effective coaching, then you can just track record through these documents, like what date she presented the icebreaker and then the evaluator's signature, or you can just put the evaluator's name here since we're all meeting through Zoom. So it might be a little bit challenging for evaluators to sign off, but as long as you know who the evaluator is, that will help you keep track when a particular member suddenly submit level 2. Well, when did she deliver introduction to mentoring? And in that case, if you keep track of these, then you are going to be able to be in alignment with where members' progress is at. So this is just different types of dynamic leadership and a lot of other things that you can see. Dynamic leadership, effective coaching, these documents will be able to view to help you track members' progress. And again, you will have this access after the presentation. One most important thing is the manager tutorials. Certainly today in 2 hours, you have got so much to learn and you may forget the next day. The best way is to go to manager tutorials under your Basecamp as a Basecamp manager. And all those managers tutorial, you can see a lot of information on how to navigate your role as a VPE, tracking progress. There will be different kinds of video that you can watch, different kinds of tools that you can use. That's the manager's tutorial. And obviously, if you are done with Basecamp Manager, you want to go back to your own Basecamp, here's the place in this gear button. That's where you log out of the Basecamp as Basecamp Manager. Perhaps you want to log out because a lot of members don't know where to go. You can either visit the Pathways Start page to go back to where you were before, not as a Basecamp manager, or you can either log out from here. And if you want to log out completely in TI website, that's where you log out as well. So again, we have Pathways champions who are here to help you with your journey as VPE, as president, as secretary. You're not alone. If you have any questions, you can always email the Pathways champions. And District 44 is a useful resource for everyone. I do have a couple minutes and I can take any questions.
Thank you so much, Lena. Great information, everybody. I want to say if you notice, Miss Lena didn't get an introduction. And that's because Miss Lena Surianto needs no introduction. She has accomplished, so many goals, not only in what some of us newbies call the old way, but also the new way. Multiple distinguished Toastmaster awards. Everybody should click their fingers and give the Zoom elbow to Lena. Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. How is everybody doing this morning? How were the presentations? What did you think? I see a lot of fist bumps and muscle arms and all types of emoticons and reactions coming up. It's been an exciting morning, and we heard from, from so many exciting individuals. I want to give you some great news because you sat and enjoyed such a wonderful explanation of pathways. We are going to give out prizes. Ooh. Can you believe it? You come to Toastmasters and not only do you leave with a great education, some great ideas for your own club, but Pathways ribbons. You know how Toastmasters do. Solid gold Pathways ribbons. So prior to the end of Lena's wonderful presentation, we drew 2 names. Basically, we took the total number, randomized it, and came up with 2 numbers that we found, and we found the first 2 winners. And those winners are, if you do not mind, I would like for you to show your face and say hello and what club you're from, if you don't mind, real quickly. The first winner is Antoinette McClellan. Antoinette McClellan, everybody. Where's she at? Where's she at? Good morning, Antoinette. How are you doing?
Good morning.
I think there she is. Hi. How you doing this morning? Congratulations.
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Of course. What club are you from?
Speaking with Power Toastmasters.
There we go. Amen. Awesome. Well, congratulations again to Toastmaster Antoinette McClellan, our first winner of some Pathways ribbons. I want one. Our second winner is Toastmaster Ernell Thacker. Ernell Thacker, good morning. Clap, 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 clap. How are you doing?
Fantastic. What a surprise.
Awesome.
Thank you.
What
Great
a pretty
information.
face. Awesome.
I'm
Thank
with
you.
Sewanee Power Hour Toastmasters Club.
Swanee Power Hour is in the house. Congratulations again. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. We saw 150,000 questions coming in. Now is the time to get those questions answered. This morning, we have 3 breakout rooms where all of your Pathways champions will be available to answer your questions. If you have questions with Pathways Basics, attend breakout room A with Amanda Mae Gray and Vina Kadam. If you would like to learn more about Basecamp management, attend room B, Doug Myers, Lena Surianto, and Ana Maria Marin. And if you want to smell the sweet Toastmasters potpourri for Pathways Potpourri, attend room C. Adrian Brown, Marcia Williams, and Fran Ellis will be in there for your questions. If you don't mind, stay in the breakout rooms until they close on you and come back and let's award 2 more Toastmasters with some gifts and close out this session. Everybody, you may now break into your breakout rooms and get your questions answered. I will see you soon.
Where are the selections for the breakout rooms?
Yeah, I don't see these selections either.
I'm able to see the rooms, but I'm not sure as to how to join one.
Scroll down to the bottom where they're at the bottom of the list. There's at the top, there's unassigned people. And then if you go down to the bottom, you'll see all 3 breakout rooms, and there's a place to click join, and you can join in that particular room.
Scroll down to the bottom of the participants, or scroll down to the bottom of the chat?
The breakout rooms.
I mean, where? I don't see.
I don't have the breakout room option
I don't
right now.
either.
It's at the bottom. It says breakout rooms.
Yeah, it should be
Like
next to my
the 4
reaction.
categories. Yeah.
It should be next to reactions, but it doesn't appear in the Zoom. Do I need to leave and rejoin?
Where it says the number of people in the different rooms, it changes to join.
I'm going now. See you later.
I don't seem to have that option either.
For next to the different breakout rooms.
I don't see any breakout rooms.
Usually the breakout rooms are next to the reactions button, but I don't see a selection for breakout rooms.
Don't have more as an option.
No.
Mm-mm. Am I in some kind of breakout room right now?
You're in the main room right now.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to join breakout rooms since I don't see any option.
Okay, Houston, I'm going to assign you to a breakout room. Which one do you want?
May I go to the one with the progress report or potpourri room, please?
Potpourri, okay.
This is Hope Harrison. I'd like to go to potpourri as well.
Okay.
And this is Mary. I would like to go to potpourri. Mary David.
All right. I see the rest of you. I can assign you there if you'll tell me which room you want to go to. Brenda Martin.
Go to B, please.
B, okay.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Michelle Asamoah. Crystal Reeves.
What were the rooms again, please?
Pathways Basics, Base Camp Management, and Potpourri.
Base Camp Management, please.
Okay.
Could I go to Pathways Basic?
Jerry Samples. I don't know where that that feedback is coming from.
This is Jerry, room A, please, room A for Jerry Samples.
There you go.
Hey, Fran, this is Kedria Shepherd. I'll go to the potpourri.
Okay, you're going.
Thanks.
Kevin De La Cruz.
Bill Davies, could I go to Pathways Basic? William Davies.
William Davies, okay.
Yeah.
Pathways Basics.
Thank you. Thank you.
Luis Guevara, can I go to room B, please?
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Lisa Henderson. Kevin De La Cruz. Lisa, where do you want to go?
Camp Basics.
Okay. Base Camp. Okay. Pam Holland said. Patricia Mitchell.
This is Pam Hollinshed, Pathways Basics, please.
Okay. Patricia Mitchell. Bonzella Taylor.
Room A, please, Basics.
Okay. Yvette. I can't hear you.
Basics, please.
Okay. Patricia Mitchell. Kevin De La Cruz. C. Michelle Asamoah. Stephanie, would you like to go into a room?
It's there now. Zoom just pushed an update, and that's why my breakouts weren't there.
Okay, great. So the rest of you can join. I will be leaving to join Pathways Potpourri. Thank you. See you on the other side.
Thank you.
We still have a few people in the breakout rooms, but we're waiting on them to close that out. And it should be in just a minute. We've got people coming back in.
Guess who's back in the house?
All right. Welcome back, Damon.
Thank you, thank you. Such wonderful questions in my breakout session. How was everybody's breakout sessions this morning? Did you get some questions answered? Did you get some questions? Did you ask some questions?
Yes.
Do you have further questions? I know you do. One of the most popular questions I think everybody has is this meeting and this workshop. You know, D44 has a huge calendar set of many workshops that are all recorded and all will be accessible. However, in this case, like I said earlier, keep in mind every presenter is a Pathways champion. You always have the opportunity to call upon your friends and family who have taken the time to jump into the Pathways pool and do the backstroke. So if you ever need to have a presentation, would like to have a presentation, even if your VPEs just want to sit next to the presenter while they present, you know, you have that ability. All you got to do is ask. Again, our email address is, I'm going to go ahead and say it. It will be shown later as well. But get this in your mind because it's so easy. T as in toast, M as in masters, period, or for those like me, dot, pathways with an S, champions with an S. That is tm.pathwayschampions@gmail.com. It's also posted in the chat. I think we're ready for some more gifts. Fran, what you think?
I think that's a wonderful idea.
I do too, because you know we love to give out ribbons. I'm feeling these, and I guarantee you, I'm leaving today with a ribbon. I'm gonna get something. All right, everybody. Well, we're going to give 2 more ribbons, and our first winner is going to be Meredith Rose. Meredith Rose, how are you doing this morning? Woo!
Pathways. I am well, and I am a part of Speaking with Power Toastmasters.
Okay, Speaking with Power. I believe I heard that earlier. Good morning. Speaking with Power winners. Winners on winners on winners like we all are. Congratulations, and thank you for attending the session today. Our next winner of a lovely ribbon that you can show and tell on Zoom, since Zoom is the new life. Are you ready? That winner coming from page 3 of Zoom, Jesus Carrillo. Jesus Carrillo, I hope I said that right. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. I don't have a camera. I'm on my personal computer since it's the weekend, and no camera there. But
No worries.
I'm a member of the Shaw Toastmasters fluorescent speakers, and I'm the
Awesome.
VP there. So this is a very informative and educational meeting. I loved it all.
Amazing. And thank you for coming. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. As we begin to end, I wanted to bring Miss Fran Ellis, our lovely host this morning, one of my icons, a true Toastmaster idol. I want to bring her back. Maybe she would like to answer any further questions, but I'm going to allow her to close us out. This is her baby. She is our mama. Fran, thank you for this opportunity to moderate this Pathways session. Not only did I have a great time, I truly did, but I also learned something. And, you know, I thought I was the Pathways champion. I now am. Thank you, Fran.
Thank you, Damon. Thank you. All my children. Okay. First of all, thank you all for being here. And second, I'm going to launch a poll while I finish speaking so that you can tell us how we did. This is just a 5-question poll, and it's going to be pretty simple. But if you will take just a moment. And I also wanted to mention, Damon, that's the ribbons are actually a packet of Pathways Champions Pathways ribbons. So you can take those back to your club and award people who reach level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and totally clear the path. So those will be sent out to you. We have your names, and we will make sure that you get those. If you have further questions, we do not have time now to do that, but if you will send an email, we will get those answered through the tmpathwayschampions@gmail.com email. And I just want to say, I think this has been a wonderful opportunity for all of us, all the champions, all the attendees on both sides. We've shared information, and we've all hopefully have a lot to take away from this. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.
We can be the champions, we can own the night. Yeah, it might destroy us, but we gotta try. Can't keep looking backwards, running from the light. 'Cause this could be the greatest moment of our lives. We can be the champions, we can own the night. This could be the greatest moment of our lives. Fighting till the last in the dust, no, we won't back down. It's time to let the whole world know we can be the champions, we can own the night. Yeah, it might destroy us, but we gotta try. Can't keep looking backwards, running from the light. 'Cause this could be the greatest moment of our lives.
Thank you everybody for coming. That's a QR code that you can scan with your smartphone, and the survey will pop right up as well. We would really appreciate you guys filling that out.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you again, Toastmasters, D44, and all in between. What a wonderful session. You made it. You are now all Pathways champions. You guys have a great day and a great weekend. May see you at your club soon.
Yes.
Okay, champions who are still on here, it looks to me like we were successful today. I am so proud of all of you. So proud.
Great job, everybody.
Great job. I'm going to need a moment to decompress from all this. And thank you, Vonzella. But we will do a little debriefing maybe next week. And hopefully by then we can get all of the resources put on D44 the way we want them to be. And I think we're going to have good results. I think we have a grade A workshop. Thank you. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Catch some sleep.
We all the base cam. Well, can we take a quick picture before we go?
Sure.
So everybody turn on their camera and look at the screen and say smile. Oh, hold on. I see that we have got another person coming in. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, smile. Okay, great.
Good thought, Lena. Lena's on the camera. Just good. I'm never on the camera. I always forget that. In person, on Zoom, doesn't matter. I'm always like, crap, we should have taken a photo. Not my forte.
I got a good shot of us too.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll do it.
Damon, thanks for keeping us on task and for making it lively.
Yes.
Oh, no, thank you. You
You're a
know, I
great
can
host.
always say you can't do anything without a team. And I'm just very privileged to be a part of this team. This is what I do. I'm a complete fool. So you can put me in front of an audience. I will always succeed. The thing is how I succeed is what is important. And I wouldn't be able to if I didn't get the guidance, especially from Fran. Fran is so available, and I know she's busy. It's something that has really helped me with my time management skills. Because when you look at someone who you know is busy, know is tired, know is over it, but she's still just smiling, not frustrated. I got you. You know, like every Zoom meeting, we're texting in the background, we're communicating, you know, just like most people do during a Zoom, trying to run a Zoom meeting. But it's an amazing opportunity, and it's a privilege to be around the individuals. Each of you presenters, amazing, very informative, very fun, not boring. You made it light. And you should be commended, definitely.
Yes.
I just post on the Facebook the pictures that I took today.
Okay.
So if you want to go to D44 Toastmasters, you can see them.
She's swift.
Awesome.
I will let you know that there was an issue with the bit.ly link that was put on the Facebook page. And so that we may have missed some, but we were up to right at 98.
Yep.
So we had a good crowd, and I all the feedback that I can see, all the faces that I could see, all the questions, it was very, very successful. We may do another one, so be prepared. Okay. All right.
I think you should. You know, it was suggested earlier. It was either in the breakout or at some point somebody did ask, you know, is this something that's going to be ongoing, especially since this is the new now. And I do believe this entire deck is long standing. So it can be, you know what I mean, done multiple times. And I feel just like with mentorship, it should be something that's around renewal. You know what I mean? Like most everything else is happening around renewal period. Let's have a little session with Pathways, because that's when most people are joining. You know, and so it's a wonderful opportunity. So if I'm putting my vote out there, I say every half a year we should be doing this. And I'm here. I mean, you don't have to have me host every time. I will. But yeah, no, I do think we should continue it.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'm going to bed.
Okay. I got you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy.
Yes.
We will see you at meetings or contests very soon in the future. And
Yes.
Season.
we are the champions.
Yeah, contest.
We are.
Good to see you, Jerry.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Likewise.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
You too.